Hi everyone, it's Sheila again. I was going to make a notepad holder, and I thought I would go ahead and video it just in case anyone would be interested. As I mentioned in a prior video, I watched the Artsy Bohemian did this. Hers was a lot different, a lot more elaborate, I think, than what mine's going to be. But you can make this as simple or as decorated as you want to. And I have so many ideas with this, not only for Christmas, but, you know, for through the year, you know, as little gifts and what have you. So this is just so you have an idea of what it is I'm talking about in case you haven't seen that. So I'll just jump right in here. I've made mine out of a piece of, this is Tim Holtz, but just scrap cardstock, because I am going to cover both sides, which is going to reinforce it as well. The pad that I'm using, I bought a bunch of these at the dollar store a long time ago, and they've been in a storage drawer of mine. And once I saw that video, I thought, oh, I have the perfect thing. So what I did, this was thicker. I divided it in two, and I used the first stack in this. And as you can see, the cardboard back there. I figured this one, I'll just use this as my backing to glue down. I am going to go through and stamp each page. I'm going to put a stamp on my little prototype here. I just put one stamp on the first page, but once you use that first page, then it gets sort of plain. So I thought I do want to go through and stamp each page, especially if I'll be giving this, you know, as a gift. So I cut my cardstock. This paper pad is 4 by 6. So I cut my, I wanted to do 4 1/4 for the base, 4 1/4 for the cover, and then I needed a spine. I just measured how thick this was, and this is about 3/8 of an inch. So I just did my 8 1/2 plus 3/8 of an inch for my spine. And the first thing I'm going to do is score for the spine. And I'm just going to do exactly like I said. I'm going to do 4 1/4. And turn it around and do 4 1/4 from the other. Excuse me. So now you can see we have the spine here. Excuse me. So I'm going to start on the outside, and once again, I have been using a lot of papers from Tsunami Rose's kit, and it's called the Christmas List, I think is what I just looked up. It's actually a kit for a like traveler size journal. You can see how the pages print out, or you can just fold them in half. So it's a traveler size journal kit. But I love the papers in it. So once again, I'm going to use papers from that for this one. I've already picked out what I want my front and back to be, and then on the inside cover, I think I'm going to use this, because the back side you're really not going to see. I will cover it, but you're really not going to see it. So I think I do want that there. So what I did, because I'm using this kit, you can use any kind of paper you want. The one thing that I would suggest, I tried using a piece of cardstock, and then I used cardstock paper. It made it so thick because you're putting it on the front and the back, and with this, it made it too thick for my liking. You know, everyone has different preferences, but it was just it made the cover way too thick for me. So what I've done, because I am using this kit that's for a traveler's notebook, I cut my pages, and I don't know, it might have been like this, however it was. I cut, of course, the white edges off, and I cut it so that I could separate this, because with my spine and the size of this paper pack, it's not large enough to cover how big my cardstock is. But I am going to put a fabric spine on mine, so it doesn't matter. So basically I just work from the edges. Let me find my glue book. Oh. And we'll just get right to work. Now on this particular one, similar to the first one I made, I'm not going to put a pocket inside. I could always add it, I guess. But like on the inside cover, you could add a pocket or a tuck spot. Like I said, you can make this as simple or as decorative as you want. And I think I'm going to stand up, because I can never get things straight sitting down. This is going to be my back. Ooh, might have to grab my glue. I didn't think about that. I don't know how long. This is. Once again, I'll start from this edge, knowing that I'm going to cover the spine with my fabric. And there's a little bit of white on the top of here, but I'm going to stitch around my edge and also ink. So I'm just going to cut this off. You can see something really went awry here. I'm just going to leave it. I'll just trim it. edge here. I don't think I'll need those, so I'm going to throw those away. Now the one thing I want to do on this one, and before I do that, let me grab another glue stick real quick. I just cut my nails, and it seems like I cannot pick up anything, open anything, pick up anything. It's not like they were really long, but apparently they were just long enough to make that difference. Now the one thing that I'm going to do different on this, and that'll straighten out as we go along. And I can't do that. I need to put my spine on. I'm going to use one of these, and I don't know what they're called. They're by Tim Holtz. They're the little, they have a little ring, and just the little, I don't know what they're called. But I want to put one of those on my spine because I'm either going to do a bead dangle or something on this spine. Just something small, but something on there. So before I put it on, I have to put my fabric spine on it, which this is usually one of the last things I do. But I decided I'm going to use this green and white checked fabric. So I'm going to cut it. I know let me look at I know that's 3/8 of an inch. I just want to make sure it really doesn't matter. I don't know, I think I'm going to make it 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to make it an inch. Let's make it simple. And I'm actually going to cut 2 of these because I think I'm going to put one on the inside as well. I put this in the wrong way. Let's see if it'll tear this way. Be my luck that I picked up fabric that won't tear. There we go. You can use muslin. You don't have to use fabric. And especially if you are using, normal scrapbook paper, or if you're collaging it, your spine's going to be covered, so you don't need to. I just like to use fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and put my fabric spine on, or the cover for my spine, because I'm going to put that little clasp in on the inside. I want that clasp to be cut, I want that to be covered. And hopefully I'm getting this in the center. Close enough, right? Yep. And on the inside, this isn't perfectly straight, but I don't care. Alright, on the inside, I know this paper is not going to be, well, it doesn't really matter either because I'm doing a spine. I'm just going to, go ahead and cut this in half. I'm going to put fabric on the spine on the inside as well. Just trying something different. And I think I do want that to be my that. I think I want this showing. And even though the back side isn't going to be showing that much, I'm going to cover it. My husband's home and has the news on. I can hear the weatherman talking about the big storm we're getting. It'll be the first one this year for us. Yeah, because I'll put this on first. Same way I did the outside. You could use double-sided cardstock too and not cover, you know, depending on what you have that you want to use to make it really easy. You could collage, use fabric, make pockets. Let's see this. I'm sorry if my head's in the way of the camera. Now, let me think about this. this in so that can be hidden. I want to sew around my perimeter before I add that. I don't think it will affect sewing. I just want to do that first. Sorry, I get a little bit quiet when I'm thinking. Oh. Too good because I really wanted to add the corners. But that's okay. I'll still do it. I'm going to go around this twice. Usually I round my corners before I do my stitching, and I didn't. But it's alright. Alright, so all that's going to be inked all around. And these Tim Holtz, I can't remember what they're called. They do come in different colors. There's a silver, I guess it's a couple different colors. I think I'm going to use this one. It's just, I can't remember what these things are called. Oy, 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 oy. Ew. Clever, clever, clever. Just gave me an idea. Alright, so I'm just going to use the or owl or whatever you call it, and it's close to the center. And I think about right there. Just gonna poke a small hole there. Gonna stick this through. I always, there it is. I don't know if it matters or not. Let me make sure this thing isn't going to be sticking over the top of my, yeah, I'm going to turn that. Yep, can't turn it. Lesson. Can't turn this, so I put some glue down. I don't know if it's going to help or not. But can you see the top of my little thing here is over my edge of my book, so I'm going to bend it back. Because I want this to be in the center. And if I turned it sideways, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this little, there we go. That's virtual. It's actually my husband's great-grandfather was a tool maker. That little thing's a little bit fat for my spine, but I think it's going to be fine once. That way I can hang a tassel or a bead dangle or something. Now on the inside, I want to put this down before I put the notepad down. That's cute. Even though it's not going to be seen. So then, the next thing I would do is I need to ink. Before I put that down, I want to ink. This material here is very stringy. And I will glue that. I will glue this side. I don't think it's going to matter because I think this is going to be, yeah, pretty much under it. But I will ink. And I'm going to ink, and then I'll probably pause while I stamp all the pages. I don't think you want to, well, you know, I could probably pause now so you don't have to watch me ink. But I'm going to ink all the way around my edges. I might also lightly ink over the papers. And I'm going to stamp my whatever stamps I want for, you know, effect on the pages. And I'll be right back. Hello again, everyone. Well, it's actually Thursday. Last night, I think we left off, I was going to stamp my paper pad, and I also wanted to make a bead dangle, which I did do, to hook on the side here. I have some bells, 3 different bells, a bead, a little heart that says made with love, and a little crystal dangle that I put to the side. I'm really pleased with that. I did stamp the entire book. I used 4 different, the pad of paper. I used 4 different stamps, a tree, a snowman, a deer, and a little Let It Snow. And I just rotated all the way through the book, or the pad of paper. And I'm real pleased with that, because if I gave this as a gift, I would want each page to have something on it. This one that I plan to keep for myself, I'm not going to bother to do that, you know. But to give it to somebody, even as a little, added little gift, I would want to do that. So I'm going to put that in, but before I do that, I was looking at this cover, and I love this just because it is plain, but I'm not happy with this one. So I got out some just cheap trim, I think from Hobby Lobby, I think. I've tried a couple different ones, and I think I'm going to add this on here just to give it something more. I just feel like it's a little bit bare. I don't know. And I'm not pleased with the way this particular fabric braid. So I'm going to add that, I think, on the front and the back. And I think I'm going to add a little button as well. I'm going to go ahead and get that on. And I'm sorry if you can hear the snow plow or the snow blower. My husband is trying to dig us out. We got our storm, and it's actually still going on. It hasn't stopped snowing, but we have over a foot of snow, and he has to go in to work for a little while. He plans on going in for like noontime. The majority of the plant is closed, but he has some things that he needs to address today. So he's trying to do our property, and then my father-in-law lives within 5 minutes of us. He has someone that plows his drive, but Bill needs to go over there and shovel his porch and stairs and clean off his automobile, so he doesn't try to do it. So he's trying to get that accomplished before going to work today. And chances are, with it still snowing, he's been waiting for it to stop. It was supposed to stop already, and it's not. He's probably going to have to do another cleanup when he gets back from work, but we still have the majority of it. My poor little dog. I have a miniature dachshund. She's just a tiny thing. And he always has to use the snow blower to clean off a portion of the backyard for her. And this morning I took her out. She woke me up at 3:30 this morning. And primarily because of the plows going up and down our street. And we live on a court, and there's a section of the court that they use to move snow to. So all night long, the plows, it was awful. But anyway, so the dog was all messed up. She had me up at 3:30 this morning, so took her out. And as soon as she walked out, she turned around and came back in. She was like, no, thank you. And at that point, we probably only had, I would guess, 6 or 7 inches of snow on the ground. But can't complain, you know. We haven't had, this is really, well, we had a snow that stuck to the grass, I don't know, a month or so ago. But this is truly the biggest storm we've had for a few years anyway, a couple years. I'm going to glue this button. I've struggled with, like, I had 3 buttons out, and then I decided I'm just going to keep it sort of simple with the one. I wasn't happy with the 3, and I always like to do an odd number. I'm going to put my button on, I think, with this glossy accents. Just because I find it does a good job with holding down buttons and what have you. Just make sure it's unclogged. Whoop. I'm going to stand up for this to try to get this in the middle. Yep. Let's stick into my finger. I'm real happy about the little dangle. I really like it. And I think it adds a lot because this is sort of plain. But it just goes to show you, you can really decorate these up, you know, and I think it doesn't take long to make it all, and I think it's a cute little thing to give as a gift. You could even attach a loop for a pen if you're giving it as a gift. Get a really nice pen to go with it. So I'm just going to glue this down here. My first one, I used hot glue, and it didn't adhere, as surprising as that sounds. And I burned my hand really bad on the hot glue, and ended up having to scrape it all off of the back of that pad, and I ended up using just regular glue. So I'm going to use this Fabrifix on the back of this. Hopefully it'll work. It probably won't, now that I've told you the hot glue didn't work on that last one. Maybe I had some really bad hot glue, I don't know. I very seldom pull that out to use it. I want to get mine as close to my spine for that where we scored as possible, but not in the spine, of course. Let me just see if I got it where I want it. That down. Oh, and other big news. I know I told you that our daughter Lauren is expecting, and we were going to find out Friday if they were going to admit her next week to induce her, and she went in labor, so she's at the hospital as we speak. She's been there since, I think she reached out to us around 6:30, 7 o'clock this morning. And, of course, we're not allowed to go to the hospital. So little Benjamin will be born at some point. Probably today. She had to have a cesarean with her first one, and with Ellie. But she's going to try to have this one natural, and as long as there are no complications, that's what will happen. So Benjamin will probably enter the world today. You could also, just want to make sure this is, yep, that blue's holding good. You could also, you know, you can make a little pocket or tuck spot. All kinds of options on these. I just really love the way that turned out. So that's my little attempt at the journal pad, or not journal pad, but little pad. And I hope that you enjoy it, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.